Let me tell you a story. I mean that literally. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to show you a performance I did of a short story. But since this is 58 keys, we'll get to that first by what Mac, iPhone and iPad tools I used. Your writing is different to mine, of course it is. But the steps and the processes might be more similar. And I think you'll see how you can use these to prepare your story, to deliver it on stage when we get back to having any stages, and then recording it too. Hello, I'm William Gallagher, and while we're all still in this unreal coronavirus confinement, the story I'm going to tell you is called Time May Change Me. First job, have the idea. There was no technology involved in this bit, actually. I was sitting down in John Lewis in Birmingham to a cup of tea and a slice of chocolate cake with writer Maeve Clark and poet Charlie Jordan. As we were sitting down, Maeve was telling us about a letter she'd got that morning. She got it from herself. She'd written the letter on a writing course exactly a year before when it was posted out. You'll see what I did with this idea, but in the very moment she mentioned it, I had it all, or so I thought. I had enough that it was all a mess in my head. And whenever there's a mess in here, well, I turn to an app. I turn to Omni Outliner. It's an ideas manager. I made some notes in it, actually only a few. I thought about the best sequence and actually not that much, but enough that it was easy, I could understand it. And almost instantly I was out of Omni Outliner and into this, Scrivener. I wrote a prose short story in Scrivener, and actually this app keeps coming up in 50 Keys, and it's going to again. When we're all out of this coronavirus, or when I just can't wait any longer, Scrivener is going to get a full 58 Keys episode, possibly quite a long one. But it's a word processor, I suppose. It's more a writing studio, I think is the phrase the makers use, and it is a better phrase. It has all the tools you need when you're writing long form fiction like novels or long non-fiction, anything long really, or as it turns out, quite short too. I did write Time May Change Me as one of a series of short stories about time, a book that's going to be coming out shortly. And with most of them, I've written them and then I've been performing them at festivals or events. That is partly to hear how they sound and to work on them. I think actually I've cut Time May Change Me something like into half after, I don't know, 4 or 5 live performances of it. But I also do this because I can. While it happens to be first-person prose, I am a scriptwriter. So first-person prose is a script to me. And in all that writing, all that editing, I accidentally memorised the story. Take a look for yourself. Here is Time May Change Me. Hello. Actually, I need a piece of paper. Can I borrow your programme, please? Just for a second. Cool, I'll bring it back. Thanks. Right, this is Time May Change. I mean, this isn't. This is a letter. It's a letter I got this morning. Been carrying around with me all day. The thing of it is, it's handwritten. The letter, the envelope's on the mat this morning. Who handwrites letters? I mean, who sends letters? But who handwrites them? It's on the mat. I've got to know, and the letter tells me. It goes straight in. There's no Dear William, not even to the occupier. It just says, you do. You handwrite letters. Or at least you do today. I have to tell you, I don't like my job. So it's really easy to just think, I could be a little late to the office today and read on. Do you remember yet? I'm in the life goals class, the one with the spotty teenager who's somehow being paid to read this, to run this, to work it all through. And I have to tell you, I thought it was all crap. Until now. Now, they've said they're getting us all to write letters to ourselves. And they promise that they will post out the letters to get to us in exactly 1 year's time. I'm sorry, this isn't necessarily just as popping in my head. A year to get a letter. Doesn't that sound like Royal Mail? Anyway,
sorry, I just thought that it came out. I had to say, life goals, year, thing, right, okay. Of course, I immediately raise my hand and say, a year sounds about right for Royal Mail. It doesn't go down well. They all look at me, every one of them. Spots at the front, his red-headed fan in the front row. The landscape gardener and the florist. They only met today, but they'll be married by the time you read this. And the army guy, the ex-colonel guy, the guy spent the whole day saluting everybody. They all look at me, and then as one, they all look back at their pieces of paper and they start writing. And I just know, every one of them is writing happy little optimistic notes about their hopes and dreams for the future. Well, not me. Because I want to write to you instead about the past. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. And I swear, I vow, I will change all of this. I will make all of this better. But if I fail, you've got to move on. You've had a year now. It's ancient history for you. You have to move on. And I have to believe that there will be a day when I can put this behind me. It goes on, actually, into hopes and dreams for the future. Some hopes I've always had. Actually, ones I'd forgotten about, ones it was nice to be reminded of. I think the thing is, because it was handwritten, and my handwriting is very poor, I really had to study it. I had to concentrate so hard just to make it. And I got so into it, that actually I was really sad to reach the end. Bit where it just says, yours, me. The trouble is, exactly 1 year ago today, I was in the office that I'm supposed to be in now. I wasn't at a life goals class. I never have been. This letter is from me, and I did not write it.
Thank you to Cucumber Writers, who included me in their evening of short plays. Thanks also to the venue, the Dark Horse Theatre Pub in Moseley, Birmingham. If we could go anywhere together, I'd recommend it. And thank you very much to my director too, Louise Marshall. Now, what you just saw was filmed on an iPhone. In fact, it was filmed on that one. There was a second iPhone filming me from the other side of the stage, and in fact it was this one. Didn't work though, I blew it. The angle that I took from this phone was dreadful. In fact, actually, take a peek, no one else is going to see this, I'll show you. Barely useful, and as you know, I didn't use it for my story. It will actually be used for some of the other short plays at night, ones that had bigger cast and filled the stage. You also heard me in part because of the microphones on the two iPhones, and partly because of these two audio recorders. These were placed either side of the stage. This one was okay. This one was, but like the iPhone, it was a bit too far away. And this one, well, this one might have been great if I'd remembered to switch it on. Oh, and then there was this, hang on, iPhone 6 and this lapel mic. I didn't set out to keep buying iPhones, by the way. I just found that each time I went to upgrade for any reason, the price I could get for trading in the old one, well, sometimes it wasn't much at all. And it always turned out to be worth it to keep the old one. So I kept that one, the iPhone XS Max, when I upgraded to the iPhone 11 Pro, and I kept it for the camera. So I now have two good cameras to film with. And I kept the iPhone 6 because it has a headphone and a microphone jack. And this lapel mic is a Rode one, which requires that. It requires a jack. I'm a bit stuck to tell you the truth, because both of those audio recorders of mine, they can take a lapel mic very easily, and I would really like them to. But there's something in the making of this one, which is quite expensive. I'll give you a link in the show notes for it. It's something optimizing it to work with a smartphone, and so it doesn't work at all when you plug it into a regular recorder. Now, forgetting my mistakes on the night with the filming and the angles and things, I ended up with 2 video tracks and 4 out of the 5 audio tracks that recorded. Say hello to Final Cut Pro for the Mac. Such a great app. But let's just stop for a second. We're almost done, but look what we've been talking about. 58 Keys is always and forever about how you and I can get more out of our Macs and our iPhones and our iPads, get more out of them as writers. Final Cut Pro 10 is a video editor. It has nothing to do with writing, nor are cameras, nor are audio recorders, the microphones. I haven't actually touched a writing app for this story since Scrivener, which was late last year. And yet I offer that each of these apps and all of this hardware is for writers. They are writing tools. I didn't know I was going to show you this. Who knew we were going to be confined like it? But I filmed it to show my agent. Yet the equipment and the apps, they serve writing, they serve writers. And I suggest that the way you actually use them, the muscles you use, they are the same as you use when you are writing. So this might be the 58 Keys that is most unlike all the others I ever do, but I don't think it's unlike them at all. And I do hope it's useful. I am not really planning to tell you any more stories, though I am a sucker for audience and you should see some of these. Do feel free to let me know what you think about the story, about these tools in particular. And while you're commenting, do that YouTube-y thing. You know, the subscribe thing, that would be very good, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be a nice bonding experience for us? Thank you for watching all of this. Take care now, and I'll see you soon.